Divina Veritas, with some reference to that Omar Khayyam verse, which explains that you should have measure, you should bring good friends, you should have good quality wine, and so on and so forth. Wine is a cultural phenomenon. It is not just a drink, just accompanying food or drink accompanying some food. It is more than that. My major conclusion through my lifetime is without wine there will be no disaster, but with wine our life becomes better.
The major vineyards in your country?
Well, Mirela, Russia geographically is not a wine-producing country, but about 2-3 centuries ago, within the Russian Empire, there appeared such regions like Northern Caucasus in particular, and in particular Black Sea coast of Caucasus, Crimea, with a very favorable climate for this, and Bessarabia as another region. During the Soviet time, wine was produced in larger areas, much larger areas than those. For example, in Georgia, in southern Ukraine, and so on and so forth. But by now, we have roughly 2 major wine-producing areas. This is Northern Caucasus and Crimea.
Wine versus vodka?
I should reveal you a great secret. Vodka is not Russian drink. It was majorly imported from Scandinavia as a distilled alcohol. Russian original drink. Now it has lost even its definite name. It is called old honey drink, which was produced without yeast, without hops, from fermented honey and kept in wooden oak barrels for years and years, from 5 to 60 years. And it was diluted or mixed, if you like, with some berry juices like raspberry, strawberry, and other berries available in Russia juices. What is interesting, I believe, for your audience is that that honey drink was a regular treatment for wedding ceremonies, and for the first month of their marriage, every couple enjoyed that drink. That is why we have in all European languages such a notion as honeymoon, because they were drinking that specifically prepared drink made on the basis of honey. With Christianity coming into Russia, it is about 1,000 years ago, gradually the drink disappeared from consumption. By the early 15th century, there appeared vodka. Vodka, it is distilled, refined alcohol. Russian Tsar, who imported the drink majorly for its own guards, for the nobility, very soon understood that he could profit enormously if he arranged drinking houses around the country. And true wine, genuine wine, which was called in Russia Romania, without distinguishing the sorts of wine. Why? Because it was imported from the old Roman Empire sphere, Byzantine Empire. Italy didn't matter for Russians. They called Romania. They were the wine drinks. They were the drinks of aristocracy, of Tsar's court, and they were not sold at all in those drinking houses. So this is the story of Russian version of the story of wine against vodka. Relatively recently, I've told you, 2 or 3 centuries ago, the balance started to change. Alcoholic drinks market is very diverse and very cosmopolitan, globalized, if you like.
Are your producers present on the Romanian market?
Not for the moment. Wine producers are not represented in the Romanian market. I can say with certain pity that Romanian producers are not widely represented, widely present in the Russian market, because traditionally the major suppliers of wine to Russian market Romania was not among them. And after Russian Federation took the path of free market economy, later we joined the World Trade Organization. Believe me, if you roam between the wine shelves in any big wine shop in Moscow, you'll find wine of every land, starting from Australia and Chile, California, France, of course, Italy, From time to time you can find some Romanian wine, but for the moment hardly you can find such a big enough store.
The first glass of wine in your life?
First glass of wine, as I see it, was not a wine it was a cider, which was introduced to us at one of the birthday parties of one of my girl classmates, somewhat at the age of maybe 10 years old, maybe 9 years old. So it was completely innocent, and frankly I didn't see anything really attractive in it. In my own family, in my smaller family, there was a rather strict prohibition law. So from time to time, during our school parties, later university parties, we had some drinks. My memory is not absolute. I can't quote you Omar Khayyam's verses on this occasion. You know that famous Persian medieval poet Omar Khayyam, who lived in a Muslim society, which is not very favorable to the alcoholic drinks. He wrote a very wise verse which tells you that the wisdom, the benefit of drinking wine depends on with whom are you drinking, on what occasion, what is quality of wine, and some other criteria. And I am just, in this regard, I am in full support with that philosophic, if you like, wisdom. And that is why, of course, I enjoy wine and good company with my family, with my friends.
Are you a wine collector?
I'm not a collection of wines, in no way. I know that many rich and famous people keep their collections. When I was posted, for example, in Chisinau, I had a chance to visit Krikova or Mileshti Mich, big wine-producing complexes, and there are whole niches full with bottles of different vintage, of different origin, and they say, well, this is the cave of president, and we should omit the name. This is the cave of prime minister, and so on and so forth. I believe that it is not bad a hobby, but I'm not a participant in it. May I wish to your spectators norok și sănătate.